Hello, my name is Denise Harlow. I'm with the National Community Action Partnership. This video is covering Category 9 under the organizational standards, data and analysis, a critical element of the work of our community action agencies to demonstrate the work and outcomes that they're achieving. And let's talk about the role that you and the board have around these organizational standards. So, in Standard 9.1, the organization has a system or systems in place to track and report client demographics and services that customers receive. Now, it does say system or systems. We know many organizations, due to various funding streams regulations and things like that, that they might have multiple systems through which they collect client information, both the services as well as the demographics. So this standard is all about telling you as a board member that, yes, we do have systems in place to track this information and produce reports as necessary. Standard 9.2, the organization has a system or systems in place to track family, agency, and or community outcomes. Certainly on the first standard, we saw services being tracked as well as client demographics. Our organizations, however, are all about the outcomes we help our families achieve. So this standard is talking about having a system, again, or systems, because there may be multiple systems in place to track those outcomes. Standard 9.3, the organization has presented to the governing board for review or action, at least within the past 12 months, an analysis of the agency's outcomes and any operational or strategic program adjustments or improvements identified as necessary. This standard has a bit of a complex sentence structure. It was written this way intentionally in order to first convey the sense that the governing board needs to be looking at programs and activities, services that you're providing and outcomes that you're achieving, and analyze how well your organization is doing or perhaps where perhaps you're missing the mark. The second part of this talks about, are you making any operational or strategic program adjustments? Now, it does say that you've deemed necessary. This says that your organization can do your analysis, and you may find that there are no changes to make because the programs are operating as expected and achieving the outcomes we need them to achieve. Or even if there are challenges due to funding restrictions, programmatic requirements, or perhaps limited resources, there are very few changes that you can actually make as an organization. So we hope that you as a board understand that this standard does not say you have to make adjustments, but it does mean that you need to have that critical analysis of how well your organization is doing. Standard 9.4, the organization submits its annual CSBG information survey data report, and it reflects both client demographics and organizational-wide outcomes. Now, for your staff, this standard will not be new information. They do annually report to their state office information on demographics as well as outcomes. Again, this standard, though, is from your perspective as a board member, you're going to want to make sure that that report happens, and this hopefully will trigger you to say, we'd like to see perhaps a summary document of these statistics that are being submitted to our state CSBG office. Now, Standard 9.4 concludes the 58 organizational standards for private community action agencies. You may have been watching this video in order or perhaps out of order. We hope that you do watch all the videos to familiarize yourself with the organizational standards, talk with your executive director, chief executive officer, your staff leadership about how these organizational standards are going, and always make sure to ask questions about things you don't understand, and so you are doing your duty of care, loyalty, and obedience of being a good board member for your local community action agency. Thank you for your service as a board member. You're playing a very important role in your organization, and we thank you for your service. Thank you.